What's up, guys? I'm Justin. I'm here with Sam.
Woo!
And we are playing The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which, if you're a Zelda fan, you probably knew that by the grace.
Spoilers, it's all a dream.
Yeah, that actually is a huge spoiler.
No, because in the beginning, he washes up on shore and it's obvious.
Yeah, we are doing this because it's Nintendo's 125th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're playing some of the greatest Nintendo games of all time, and this one absolutely is high up on this list.
Yeah, it's the first portable The Legend of Zelda game, aside from, I think, a really cool handheld Game & Watch, but it's nothing like this. I just wanted to show everybody the giant egg. I think it's really great.
Egg at the top of the mountain. What a good ending this game had, but we're not going to obviously get into that.
I already talked about it.
When?
I just spoiled it. It was the first thing I did.
Yeah, you did.
Spoilers for a game from 1992.
Yeah, so Link's Awakening is good in any context. Like, it's just a good game. It's good and fun. But imagine how good and incredible this game was when the Game Boy was actually, like, new tech.
Yeah.
That you could have an adventure like this, an entire giant adventure with dungeons and weapons and all the normal Zelda stuff just in your pocket.
Yeah, Zelda had just come out on Super Nintendo, A Link to the Past, and this was a comparable adventure on Game Boy shortly after it.
And like it definitely has some like clunkiness, like it's the way that you swing your sword, and like that you can only have one item equipped at any time. Like there's definitely some kind of minor annoying things like that. But like, come on, like being able to have a whole
you get into the menu a lot in this game.
Yeah, you do.
But
it introduced a lot of cool stuff. It introduced I think. Wait, could you jump and Link to the Past? Now I can't even remember.
No, I mean the cape is in the Oracle games. Is it in this game?
Now we're in the Retron menu. I just think it's so cool that Link could jump. It introduced a lot of stuff. This was also the start.
There we go. Here's the jump.
This was also the start of Zelda being the tradition of the handheld Zelda games being a little bit strange and off and different.
When you imagined Link jumping before this game, did you imagine him jumping like the Contra characters?
I did not imagine him doing an incredibly acrobatic flip.
Yeah,
no.
It's so neat.
This game does non-linearity in a really good way. All the Zelda games are obviously non-linear. Like, you get new items and you can explore around, but this one was almost a little bit more Metroid-like, where like it really gated off huge portions of the game world, and you would see these pits and not know how to get over them, and then you got the jump button, and it was so cool.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, like there's so many more places I can go now.
Yeah, one thing that I have talked about with this game before is that it is a really wacky Zelda game. Yeah, it actually has Kirby in it. It doesn't take itself seriously.
No,
it's like a fun version of Zelda.
That's exactly what I was starting to say. Is this is the start of the tradition of the handheld Zelda games being much sillier. It's still got a story and characters and interesting stuff happening, but
it is a goat that like sends you a photo because it's trying to like get a date or something.
Yeah, and it's not really concerned with like you use a telephone.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is a telephone?
Look at this. I realized this recently. See that owl?
Yeah.
It's a big part of this game. Same owls in Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah. I guess it is. And it's funny.
Kapora Gabora, I believe.
We're playing this in black and white because we're playing on an original Game Boy cart. But there's been various versions of this that came out later.
Yeah.
And then it had the color dungeon.
Yeah, the Zelda DX. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX was a color-enhanced version of the game, and it has this dungeon which you can, I believe, get into on regular black and white Game Boy, but it's easier to get into when you use the colors because it actually has a red and blue-based puzzle to get into it.
Wait, could you even do it? I didn't even think.
Look, that's a Goomba. That's a straight-up Goomba.
That basically is a Goomba. Are you sure that the DX version works on the original Game Boy? I thought it didn't.
No, my point was that you could. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah,
I actually don't know. They're so similar, and you could have a Game Boy Color and play old Game Boy games on it. So
this game also continued the trend that continues to this day, actually, of Zelda being very musically focused. It's always sort of a theme or sub-theme of each Zelda game. Is this the one that started that? I mean, I know you got the warp whistles and stuff like that, or you got the whistle.
Yeah, the warp whistles are in the first two games, so there's that. But yeah, I mean,
this is the one that the whole point is you're trying to wake up this windfish and you're collecting the instruments.
Let me point out something interesting here. So this really looks like an interior in The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. The angle of everything is kind of like that, and then the trees out here look like A Link to the Past, right?
Yeah, they do.
This game in development was actually a working prototype of a Link to the Past, the Super Nintendo game on Game Boy.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
So it was used. I love those guys. It was
really
used
great.
as a way to make it just straight up on Game Boy. Which is, I mean, if you think about it, to have a portable console then that could, play 8-bit games at first and then 16-bit like games later. Like it spanned 2 console generations, and it could play games like both of them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
like,
amazing.
Here, pop back out of there, actually, or feel free. I mean, we can go back in this dungeon in a sec, but like to have in your hand like this vista and like clouds, and see out the sea like behind you. You're on top of this mountain. Like that's awesome.
It was harder to see on your greenish, puke and booger colored Game Boy.
That's true.
But still effective.
And I remember I'd be curious.
Man.
Yeah, I'd be curious to go back and play this today. But I you did. I remember this game being hard. And maybe it's not, but like that's my memory of it playing it growing up.
It was pretty hard. Zelda's are hard as you make them, right? Because if you get all the heart pieces and you really level up all your, it gets pretty easy pretty fast. But I always like challenging myself. I kind of like going with 3 hearts through a game, and makes it really fun.
I really, this has been a very, very fun project for us to do for a bunch of reasons, to play all these awesome games. But it's also fun just from a kind of voyeuristic, your host.
Yeah, look at all that good stuff.
From a voyeuristic standpoint, we're playing on Mark Nix's cart. And it's interesting to see that his old cart from when he was who knows how many years old, like he's still got his completed game save on here, but Nix, you didn't get all the heart pieces.
Right, he almost did. And there's also a collectible other thing that I saw he had like 92 out of 100 on, and I don't remember what that was.
This game's notorious for its sort of, I don't know what you want to call the puzzle, but the trading puzzle that you have to do. Like, without a guide or without knowing what you're doing, I have a hunch that that's the end of many, many people's Link's Awakening run.
Man, there's a trading game in this, and that's right. And you know what the greatest thing is? It has fishing. It introduced fishing.
Yeah.
Fishing was not in Zelda games before, and this game had fishing. I like these things.
Yeah, that's really cool. This game's really cool. This game's great. This is another one that's on the 3DS eShop, so, if you're younger or for whatever reason you just missed this game, pick it up on the 3DS eShop. It's a couple bucks. It's awesome. It's a Zelda adventure that totally stands the test of time.
Yep.
Everybody, we're doing... okay, I'm not going to close this video out. I'm going to let you beat the boss or
Whoa.
die.
Wow!
I'm going to let you beat him or die trying, and then we'll close out this video.
Might need to use bombs on this guy.
You're doing a great job.
He's not happy.
That animation of him picking you up and tossing you is awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Oh, look at that. Everybody, we're playing 125 Nintendo Let's Plays for Nintendo's 125th anniversary. So I hope you've enjoyed going on this nostalgia trip with us. We're going to be doing a lot more of this. So make sure that for all things Zelda and all things nostalgia, you're keeping it locked to IGN.